I'm Samantha Brown, professional organizer, decluttering specialist, and business coach. I created Pro Organizers Coach podcast to empower you to reach new heights in your business. I am on a mission to build a supportive sisterhood of passionate professional organizers. So whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just getting started, this podcast is for you. Hey girl, welcome to step 5 of my Called and Confident series. This comprehensive framework is designed to help you create a mission-driven business that is rooted in authenticity and faith. Each letter in Called represents a critical step towards discovering and embracing your calling so you can create a business that feels authentic, meaningful, and is aligned in your unique purpose. This will lead to messaging that attracts the right clients and relationships that are grounded in connection and impact, which is what we need this day and age to stand out in our local market, online, everywhere. So, how is this going to help you? The goal for this episode is to help you create a clear picture of who you are called to serve by pulling clues from the previous steps, and then we will dive into specific details of exactly who you are speaking to. You have to know who your ideal client is, and we are going to bring all of those steps together. Your mission and the people that you are called to help will naturally align with your passion, your strengths, and your life experiences. This clarity will ensure that your business is deeply authentic and that you are serving those who need your unique gifts. When your mission, your vision, and your values align, it's easy to help your ideal clients. So like I said, this is step 5. We are going to envision your ideal client. So if you will just go with me for a minute and let me explain. So for me personally, the ideal client that I have, not for my organizing business, but for this business, for POC, is someone that I have named Sarah Grace. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about who I know Sarah Grace to be, because that's you. If you're watching this video, if you follow me, if you watch all of the content that I put out, it's because you know I am speaking to you. And Sarah Grace is with an occupation. She probably has a full-time job that does not fulfill her, probably something in the education field or maybe business or maybe even medical, but she's doing work that helps people, but it's not fulfilling her. And then your values. For my ideal clients' values, faith is huge. Family is a big one. Having integrity, being a person of service and helping others and wanting to live with purpose is huge. And then you're very compassionate. You are detail-oriented. You're naturally organized. You're resourceful, and you're very nurturing. You may not have all of those qualities, but I would say that you have quite a few of them if you're someone that's listening to me. And the reason I say that is because when I create content, it is for Sarah Grace. Now, you may not be exactly who Sarah Grace is, but you obviously are somewhat aligned with her and you feel like I'm talking to you, which is why you watch the content that I put out. It's why you feel drawn to me and you know that I can help you start and scale your professional organizing business. So real quick, the desires of my ideal client for POC. She wants to align her faith with her work. She wants flexible schedule. She wants to be fulfilled in her life and in the work she's doing. She wants financial freedom, and she loves making an impact. And above all else, she wants to enjoy her life and work. And then some of the like fears and stuff, because you've got to know your ideal clients, like who they are, what they desire, but then you've also got to understand what some of their fears or speed bumps, like the things getting in their way, might be. So for her, a fear might be you not being called to your work, a fear of failure, maybe imposter syndrome, being afraid that you won't be able to balance your faith, your business, and your family. You might be afraid that you have a lack of knowledge, like you don't have confidence yet in the knowledge that you have to become a professional organizer and working with your clients. And then self-doubt. There might be a fear of not being good enough to start your own business or not living up to your purpose. And that might be preventing you from taking the leap. And the reason I know all of this about you and about my ideal client is because it's who I used to be. It's everything. Like when I described all of those things about Sarah Grace, it's really me a few years ago when I was starting my business. And a lot of times, the people we're called to help, we are only a few steps ahead of them. We don't have to know everything. We don't have to be completely at the top of the mountain when they're still at the bottom. We just have to be a few steps ahead. And my ideal client that I'm speaking to, even if you don't relate to any of that, that's okay, because you still feel like I'm talking to you. Because when you talk to one person, you can talk to many different people. But when you talk to many different people, no one will feel like you're talking to them, which is why today we are going to envision your ideal client for your business. And then make sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell so you get the sixth part of the series, which we will define your mission and transformation statement together in the next episode. Step 1, I want you to review all of the clues that you have. Just look through your notes from this series. So from clarifying your vision, aligning your passions, leveraging your strengths, and learning from your past, those 4 steps we've gone through so far, of step 1 through 4 in this series, I want you to look back through those before we start identifying your ideal client and defining your mission. And then step 2, as you're looking through those, think about what are some common needs and reoccurring themes as you went through the last 4 steps. Like, what have you gone through that you can now help someone else with? Or what are the things you love learning about? Because just because you're starting a professional organizing business, there's so many niches that fall under the category of professional organizing. There's chronic disorganization, there's ADHD, there's decluttering, there's actual, like the Pinterest perfect pantries, there's helping moms, there's helping the elderly, there's downsizing, the list goes on and on. And so we have to help you figure out who it is that you're talking to. Now, you can do all of those things. You can help all of those people, but you still, in your content and when you're pitching someone in person, going to networking events, anything you're doing in your business, you need to know who you're speaking to. And let's create your client profile together, okay? So we are going to write a detailed description of the person that you feel called to help. Now, this may change throughout your business, and that is perfectly fine. But in this moment, let's go ahead and pick someone so you can start talking to her. You can start planting seeds, and those seeds can start growing so you can start your business and start making some money. All right, so we're going to go over 4 key aspects to write down about your ideal client: her demographic and background, her pain points and challenges, her goals and aspirations, and then her values and decision-making process. As we go through these 4 key aspects, once you know who you are talking to, everything else will become so much easier. All right, demographics and background. We need to know, how old is she? And then we also need to know her gender, which I assume it's a female. You might be helping males, but most of us are helping females. How old is she and what is her marital status? Is she 35, married, with 3 kids or something. What is that family? Who is she? Her age? Is she female? And then is she married? Her occupation and income level. And if you don't know this, it's totally fine. But the way that I said that my person normally works full time and is either in the education field or is in the like medical field, but it's all helping. They're all in the fields of helping others. And as an occupation, just pick something. Maybe it's something you've done in the past, or maybe it's what you're doing now, or maybe it's, is she retired? Is the person that you're wanting to help older and they've already retired? Or is she a stay-at-home mom that homeschools her kids? Whatever that looks like for her, let's just go ahead and create the person that you would love to do sessions with. Maybe you have a cousin or a friend or a sister that is your ideal client, but there's a few different things. Base it off of them. That's okay. But just pick one person that you're talking to, okay? Occupation and income level. And then family and household dynamics. Again, is she 35, married with 3 kids? They have 2 dogs, a rabbit. You can go a little more detailed because you really want to build this up of who she is and have a picture in your mind of who you're talking to. So that way your content speaks to her, right? And the issues or the things that a retired 65-year-old grandmother that lives alone is dealing with versus a 30-year-old mom of 3 that is a stay-at-home mom and homeschools. Those are 2 very different aspirations and issues and pain points and challenges that they're going to be dealing with, which is why we have to define her for you. Okay. Ideally, who would you love to help? Okay. Get her in your mind. Go ahead and give her a name. It does not have to be the name of the person that, if you're thinking of a friend or a sister or somebody that you would love to work with, you can give her a different name or give her the same name. Totally up to you. But go ahead and name her. And then now let's think about her pain points and challenges. So, what problems does she struggle with that your business can solve? Okay. Again, what problems does she struggle with? Does she struggle with coming up with laundry systems? Does she struggle with her calendar? Does she struggle with meal planning? Does she struggle with getting her kids up on time every morning and having their stuff actually laid out where she can get to it? Is it more about, does she need more step-by-step systems in place throughout her house so she can not have as much stress? Is her challenge the fact and her pain point that every morning she wakes up and everything's scattered all over the place and she can't get her kids off to school and they're late every morning? Or if she's homeschooling, that she can't ever get everything out in the time it needs to be out to actually get her kids to be able to teach them? The next question, what emotional struggles or frustrations does she face? So internally and emotionally for her, what is she dealing with? Is it stress from being disorganized? Is it frustration from having too much clutter and so many items that she's getting just overwhelmed by the clutter? Is it that emotionally she knows that she could live a better life and she almost feels shame because of the life she's living? And then what's holding her back from success? Now, listen, I know this is a lot of writing, but I promise you it is so worth it. It's going to help you with so many content ideas for your business, whether you're just getting started or if you've even been doing this for a while. I promise you it's worth going through this and writing down some stuff so you have it to refer back to. Okay. What's holding her back from success? Now, success defined for her is going to be different than maybe success for you or success for someone else. But think about your ideal person and what is holding her back from success. Is it her own fears, her own doubts? Is it financially? She feels like they don't have enough money. Is it that time? Does she just not have enough time in her day or in her week to get some of this stuff done? But she actually knows how to do most of it. But what's holding her back from her version of success, which is having systems in place, is that she just doesn't have enough time, because maybe your ideal client is working, or even the stay-at-home mom that's homeschooling. Any of those, they may feel like they don't have enough time, or they're not good at time management. Now, if that's the case, that's a huge area of content that you can create around how to create systems for yourself to get better with time management, right? And then the last questions on pain points and challenges is, how do those challenges affect her daily life? So now that you've figured out some problems that she struggles with that your business could solve, what emotions she's struggling with or frustrations, what's holding her back from success, but then how do those challenges affect her daily life? Is it that she won't even take the first step because she's so overwhelmed? Is it that she tries to get started? She's constantly thinking about the fact that she's overwhelmed, and there's something that always needs to be done in her home. And so it's affecting her all day, every day, because she's carrying it with her throughout her day. There's so many ways that these challenges can affect her daily life. And so make sure to write some of those down. All right, now let's talk about the goals and aspirations. So we need to know, what are our person's dreams and desires, because as an entrepreneur, as someone who is running a business, you need to talk to people either about how you solve their problems or how you help them achieve their dreams and desires and goals and aspirations. And either one of those are something that people are willing to pay for. If you help them solve a problem or a challenge in their life, or if you help them reach a goal and something that they desire and that they really want in their life, it's a desire of theirs. If you can come alongside of them and be like, listen, I can help you reach that goal, and here's how I'm going to help you. And you do that by creating content that she will see. Okay, let's talk about it. What does she want to achieve in her life? Now, this could be in a year's time, it could be bigger goals and aspirations, but what does she want to achieve in her life? Is her biggest goal to raise her kids to be outstanding members of society? Is her biggest goal to have her family feel loved? And in her mind, for them to feel loved, the house needs to feel clean and needs to have systems. Is her biggest goal to go back to work one day and be able to help others outside of the home? But right now, she's helping her smaller children to grow. Does she want to maybe start a business? Maybe your ideal client wants to start a business as well. And then what transformation is she looking for? If her goal in life is to get back out in the workforce after raising her kids through age 5, let's say, then what transformation is she looking for now that is going to help her get there? Is maybe her transformation that she would love to have is to have systems in place in her home so she can get her associate's degree at night while taking classes? Or is her goal to the transformation that she's looking for? Is she wanting to have her kids have this amazing childhood, but the transformation she needs is, right now, everything's chaotic. I always feel like I'm running behind. If it's that person she feels like she's on the struggle bus, then the transformation she may want is to just feel like she has some kind of control in her life, and that she knows what her next steps are, and that she knows how to keep her house decluttered and calm and peaceful, because then the kids feel better, her husband feels better, she's not so overwhelmed. Or is the transformation maybe that she needs help with her kitchen and the layout of it, and then also how to create meals at night? Or there's so many directions this can go. But for your person, what is the transformation that she's looking for? If it was you a few years ago, what would you have loved to have had done? If you could snap your finger and it could have been done for you, what would that transformation have been? And then what kind of lifestyle or outcome would she love to have? So the same question of if she could snap her finger and one thing could be done as a lifestyle or as a just the way she's living or where she's living or how she's living, any of it. But if she could snap her finger and that number one thing that she would love to have, what would that be? And then how does working with you help her reach her goals? Now, I think a lot of times for us, at least I know I did this whenever I was first starting, I would get so stuck in my head of, I don't know the answer, but we really do know the answer. And so how does working with you help her or help her reach her goals? It could literally be something as simple as it gives her someone to go back and forth with, to be able to create to-do lists that help her in her daily life each week. Maybe it's something as simple as working with you helps her go through her home and declutter. Maybe working with you helps her feel seen and heard, which she's not had in a really long time, and helps her know that someone's in this with her, that, you know, the areas of her home that she doesn't show anyone, she can feel comfortable enough showing you, and you can help take that weight off of her shoulders. Maybe you're someone that's going to do virtual stuff, and maybe working with, or maybe you already do. And maybe working with you is what a coach does, like all the benefits of having a coach in your life and getting somewhere faster than what you would if you were there by yourself. Because sometimes when we're there by ourselves, it is so hard to get out of our own head, and we can talk ourselves into or out of anything. And that's why I stayed stuck for as long as I did, is because I didn't have someone else to come alongside of me. And that's exactly why I've created the POC group coaching community, is because we meet every single week and we get to know each other and we help each other, and we have the app that we help each other with. My ladies, my POC ladies, when I'm working with them, the goal of having me as their coach is that I've already been there and done that. And I'm still working as an organizer every day of the week almost. And because of that, yes, I'm their coach, but I'm also their peer. And so I am able to help them see things in a way that they would not have seen if they weren't a part of the group coaching community. And it's the same with you, with your clients. How does you being there with her help her in a way that her being by herself without you, she wouldn't, like, maybe she'd get there, but she wouldn't get there as fast. She wouldn't get there as easy, and she would feel alone. That's a huge piece for a lot of people, is the feeling alone. And so I don't ever want that for you or for her, your ideal client. And so you've got to think of ways that of things that you can do and come up with ideas that you can help your clients with, because you truly know who she is and the struggle that she's dealing with, but also her dreams. Like, what does she truly desire? And I know for me, whenever I was starting my organizing business and the first year or two, I felt so alone. My true desire was to have a community, and I couldn't find one anywhere. So I created the very first professional organizers group coaching community. I didn't see one anywhere that was available, where they met weekly for group coaching and really got to know one another and became this like sisterhood that supported each other. And so I created it because that was my own desire. And so you've got to get out of your own way and just look at the basics. Like, what is it that she truly desires, and how can I help her with that? Okay, last one, the values and decision-making process. We've talked about her age and demographic. Who is she? What's her name? Is she married? Kids? All the stuff. Then we've talked about her pain points and challenges. What is she struggling with? Then we've talked about her goals and aspirations. What are her dreams and desires? And then now we need to talk about her values and her decision-making process. These are 4 kind of different questions, but they're very vital in creating the overall ideal client profile. So, number 1, what does she believe in? What is her faith? What are her personal values? And what are her priorities? Like for me, with my ideal clients, I know that they are Christian 99% of the time, even if they're not, no big deal, but that's okay. But normally Christian, love their family, like family above all, like it's faith, family, and then their personal values are always about helping others, always. They desire to help other people, and it's who they are on the inside. They truly are in the like helper field, no matter what they're doing. They're called to help others, whether that's help bless them, teach them, heal them in the medical field, a caregiver, cleaning, it doesn't matter. Just helping others is what my ladies are always, it's just who we are. So for you, for your ideal client, does she have any kind of faith? What are her personal values, like family, all the stuff? And then what are her priorities? Are her priorities to, again, build up her kids? Are her priorities to, if she's 65 and retired, to finally live a life that she's always wanted to live and to downsize her home because she's already raised her kids and now she's a grandma? And what are her priorities? What influences her buying decisions? So is it the price of something? Is it the quality of something? Is it relationships? Does she buy based on relationships? Does she have a buying problem and she actually buys more for the dopamine hit and she's almost addicted to buying, like QVC, HSN, Amazon? A lot of my organizing clients just purchase because we can purchase now with the click of a button and it shows up at our door. So what influences her buying decisions? Is it convenience? There's so many things that can influence people's buying decisions. And so make sure to write those down. And then what kind of content does your ideal client consume? Whether that's podcasts, books, what are they scrolling through on social media? That's a huge one that tells us what it is that they are interested in. And that matters. Like we have to know what it is. Are they looking up Dollar Tree hacks for organizing products or DIY organization tips and tricks? Or are they looking up how to better themselves? Are they looking up and listening to sermons and faith stuff? Are they like, what is it that they are consuming? And that will tell you a lot about their goals and desires and who they truly want to be. Are they looking up ways to make sourdough bread and homemaking stuff? There's so many different things. And that's one of those that if you don't know someone that's your ideal client just yet, then you could do a couple of things. There's the 3 Ps, which is pause, take a breath, pause, pray about it and ask God to help with the answer. And then also go do a little bit of market research, go into some Facebook groups or ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT always has the answers, right? Or look up maybe one person that you think that they would either listen to as a podcast or on a YouTube channel, and then see what some other people in those groups be like, hey, what do you all listen to? You can ask people questions to get your market research. I also saw somewhere and I was like, oh, that's genius. So you can go on Amazon and I think it's where you purchase the books. You can go look in the comments and see like what types of comments, like what are the questions people are asking. If you have a book title that you're like, oh, my person would definitely read this book. Okay, then go to Amazon, look in the comments and see what are some like questions and stuff that people were dealing with or asking about on that book topic. Or again, Facebook groups are huge. Go find a Facebook group, go in there and just be like, hey, I'm doing some market research. I'm thinking about starting this business or I already have a business. You all are very similar to my ideal client, and I would love to have a few questions answered. And then you could even do something like, and in return, I'll do a free virtual organizing session with you if you'll fill out these few questions or comment whatever below. When we do stuff like that, especially in the beginning, you're getting experience, you're getting so many things that are so valuable to starting your business when you can get information from people. And when you can also offer them something in exchange. A lot of times people don't even end up taking you up on it. But if they do, then you've started to build a connection that might be a client for you in the future. If you've already started your business, that's a way to plant a seed for the future. You could even go into a group and be like, hey, maybe you create a workshop that you do online, which I don't want to go too sidetracked on the marketing stuff, but we talk about all this in the group coaching community. So if you're questioning anything, the links are below. Make sure to go get my freebie, which is the How to Start Your Professional Organizing Business checklist with a workshop. If you have already started your business or you're past that, or even if you're just getting started, I've got courses at proorganizerzacademy.com. But my main thing that I love are my ladies in the POC group coaching community. So even if you just comment in the bottom of this video, or if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, you can comment and just say, hey, I want to know more, or I'd love to know about your organizing group coaching community. Whatever it is, I'm the one that's going to read the comments, and I promise you I will respond to you, and we can have a conversation about which of my products and my services that I have will help you right where you are to accelerate the process, because that is my goal. And my mission as your coach is to accelerate the process for you to where you don't stay stuck for any length of time. We can hurry and get you past all of the foundational pieces and all of that stuff, and we can get you working with clients and get you helping people. And then we can still be a part of the community that supports one another every single week, every single Tuesday. I would love to have you. But anyways, sorry. I love my group coaching community. Okay. And then the last question after what kind of content do they consume is, what objections or hesitations might they have before working with you? So I know for me, a lot of my organizing clients, I flat out tell them in the phone call, listen, when your brain starts to tell you like, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea, or I really don't want to show her or I need to clean my house before she comes over, or all of the stuff that your brain's going to tell you, then tell your brain, no, Samantha's not judging me. This is what Samantha does. She sees it as a puzzle. She loves decluttering and organizing. She is here to help me. I'm at least going to let her come do the consultation, or I'm at least going to let her come do the first session. And I tell them all the time, once we do that first session, then you can decide if you love doing it, or if you're like, that's not really for me, or if it didn't help you. I've never had someone say it didn't help them, ever. It's just getting them to let me come do that first consultation, which is why I've started doing $100 deposit to even get on my calendar. Because if I didn't do something like that, they were constantly canceling on me because of their objections and hesitations that they have in their own brain of what it might be like to work with me, or what judgments I might have about them. But it's really the judgments they have about themselves. And so what objections or hesitations might your ideal client have before working with you? And the reason that's important is because then you can create content around it, and you can speak to those like speed bumps that are in the way and be like, hey, if you're stressed out about working with an organizer, that's who I help. I love helping women that are actually stressed out about me even coming to their home, because that tells me that there's so much we can do there. And that tells me that there's such an amazing puzzle in your home. And I get so excited. I love helping clients. The other day, I took off 17 contractor bags from one 3-hour decluttering session with a client. And that's true. It was 17 black contractor bags that I fit into my car and took away from one session. When I tell people that, they're like, oh, okay, mine's not that bad. So anyways, I am so thankful to you. So let's do this real quick. Thank you for listening and staying to the end of this episode. Again, make sure to subscribe, notify, comment, especially the comments. I would love them. I'm still so new to especially YouTube, not podcasting, but to YouTube, that I'm trying to build up, and the algorithm know, hey, this is good content. I'm out here helping people. But anyways, so back to your ideal client. Now let's create a I help statement. And then we're going to build off of that in the next episode. So an example answer might be, I help overwhelmed Christian moms create peaceful, organized homes by teaching them simple decluttering and organization systems. I walk with them step by step all the way through the process so they don't get overwhelmed. That's my ideal client. That's who I help and how I help them. And so for you, your homework is to take and create, based on everything that we've talked about and all of the notes that you've written down today and in the previous episodes, who is it that you're helping? And keep it very simple. Like, we've gone very broad, we've gone very big, but bring it back to human. Who is a person that you would love to help? And literally make it that simple. Now, once you realize who you help, then you can look at how you help them. The who, what, where, when, why, how. Answer all those in your I help statement. But originally, mine was just, I help overwhelmed Christian moms in their home. That was just to bring peace. I guess I help overwhelmed Christian moms create peaceful homes through decluttering. That was my original I help statement. And that was good enough to get me going. I had some ideas. I knew who I was speaking to. And that's the biggest part of this. You don't have to have a few sentences. You can have just the one. But who do you help? And for me, my faith is so big in who I am that even just having scripture on my website, because I know my ideal client is a Christian, having that scripture, I constantly get people that call me that say, hey, I chose you and I called you because of the scripture on your website. Every little piece of who she is something that we can make sure that we speak to, or that we have something for her. So as she's looking at our website, or as she's looking on our Google page, or on our social medias, or we're talking to someone at the grocery store, it doesn't matter, then we know who we're helping and how we help them. And it makes life so much easier. And for you, now you're going to know who you're called to help. It's not just like I tell people, I'm on a mission, or I am called to help. And so when I say those things, because I know that I've done the work, I know who I'm called to help. I know the mission that I'm on. And so make sure you come back for the next episode, because that's what we're going to talk about, is how do you know your mission statement and your transformation statement for your business. So the mission is the mission that you're on through your using your business. And then the transformation statement is, what does your business do? Who does it help? How does it help them? What transformation does it bring for the people that you're trying to help, your ideal client? All right. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to have had you here. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you in the next episode.